Before we get into today's travel journal, I just wanted to say thank you to Squarespace for always supporting us and sponsoring this video. I'll get more into why I love their platform later, but for now, let's just take in this incredible island of Elafonisos. This was the first Greek island that Lou and I went to in OD. Actually, the first island we ever took OD on, and it was a wild experience getting him onto a ferry and then onto this remote island, and truly was some of the best times that we've ever had in the van. So I was really excited to sit down and reflect on the island and our time there with this travel journal. I think it had been like a month or something like that since we actually were on the island. And so, yeah, I was really excited to journal and go through our little mementos from the trip, though I have to say I did not keep a lot from it. I by accident threw out my ferry ticket and a lot of the receipts and things like that when I was cleaning the van. So this is a travel journal without a lot of mementos. So it's gonna be a little bit more creative, and I feel like it's kind of nice to show that you can reflect on a time somewhere even without keeping anything from it. So this is where I did my first drawing. I think this was actually the first day that we got to the island, and we'd been driving all day and then taking the ferry, and so then we kind of got to this top point and looked out on the beach, and it's so crazy. I don't know if you realized, but did you see those two like semicircles? The ocean like comes together in these two crescent moon shapes, leaving a teeny little strip of beach in between. And so I thought that it looked so crazy that I had to get it down on paper. So I tried out my colored pencils, which I had been trying to improve on, but really didn't take it very seriously. Just enjoyed the space and happy with how that one turned out, even though I did spell Elafonisos wrong in the top corner of that. But don't worry, I get it right on the actual journal, which is what's important. Oh, and then here, so I met an amazing woman on the island named Maria, and she ended up giving me Greek lessons, which was like the coolest experience. So these are some of the notes that I had from working with her. And I thought it would be fun to put those into the travel journal because learning Greek was such a fun part of my first few weeks there. I haven't stuck with learning Greek as much as I would have wanted, but at the same time, just spending like 2 weeks of focused effort has gotten me so far and has really allowed me to engage with so many people here, which I've loved. I think I mentioned it in maybe the learning Greek video, but for Lou and I, like, we don't eat out at restaurants and we don't even drink alcohol anymore. So learning a language is such an amazing way that I get to actually interact with people here and, chit chat when we're buying gas or get to know somebody who's looking out at the water at the same time I am. And even on hikes and stuff, just being able to say hello or ask somebody what their name is has been pretty incredible. So I wanted to have a little spot of the journal commemorating those times learning Greek with Maria. Sorry, a car is going by here. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's difficult for us to get quiet recording spots. I think there are going to be bells in the background from a bunch of horses and cars going by, but that's just the nature of recording in a van. But yeah, wow, Elafonisos. It was just so special because it's a pretty small island, and so Lou and I like to take morning walks or strolls after dinner and things like that, and we actually were able to walk almost the whole island while we were there. We parked in a few different spots, like we were at one wild camping spot near that crescent beach, and then we found a really nice campsite, and that's actually where I met Maria. And then there's another amazing wild camping spot that I hope Lou put footage in later in this video. But I really wanted to commemorate the closeness that we felt with water while we were there. We had never gotten a chance to go swimming as much as we did on this island, at least before. Like, we're really lucky. We spent a lot of this summer by the ocean, but getting to Elafonisos, we were swimming multiple times a day, and those crescent shapes were kind of to represent the water. And then getting a little distracted. It's kind of funny voicing these in real time, but wow, look at these goats. This was on one of our nightly strolls. we met these beautiful creatures. It was kind of weird. They were actually like tied together, all 4 of them, so they had difficulty walking, but they were very happy when I picked up some of the grasses and leaves that were just outside their reach, because they had picked at everything that was in their pen. So getting a little extra green to make their night better. And yeah, I'm about to draw something, but before I do, I just wanted to, those whale pictures that I pulled out of the Nat Geo, I really wanted to get something that would make me remember how much fun we had getting to know our underwater camera. And so I wasn't going to attempt to try to like draw something underwater. So I thought that it would be kind of fun to use those underwater pictures of the whales as a background for, I think I ended up putting the "I like to draw outside," which is one of the sentences that Maria taught me how to say in Greek. So I put that as the backing for those words. And yeah, even though you can't see the whale or anything, I feel like in my mind I can look back and know that that little blue background is actually to represent how much fun we had taking photos and videos underwater and playing in the ocean. And so this section is about these umbrellas that were just stunning. This was at the other wild camping spot that we found, and while you did have to pay for them during the day, at night after people had gone home or early morning at sunrise, they were totally empty and free, and Lou and I would bring our morning tea out there and sit and enjoy the sunrise, or at night after we went swimming, we'd lounge in them, and it just felt so luxurious and like the epitome of island life. And yeah, I didn't want to forget how special they were, and so I decided to draw a bunch of them. I painted them with watercolor and then added a little bit of pen on top. And so I thought that I wasn't exactly sure if I would end up putting them down as a whole border or split them up. I ended up bringing 3 to the top and using only 2 at the bottom, so I had a few extra, but it was good because my glue stick thing kind of exploded and got on top of one of them, and which made all of the paint and pen smudge. So it was really nice that I had made an extra one. This was a lot of our life on the island. You know, the van just lets us see such different places. Like this, we thought was like an abandoned restaurant. It turned out it actually opened just as we were leaving, so we just got there before like big season had happened. So we just used it as like a shaded dining room while we were at this parking lot, which felt really nice because shade was far and few between. And so yeah, oh my gosh, this was hilarious. This was our haircut experience. Lou used to make me cut his hair when we were in Berlin.
Oh, I really like it.
I can't remember if I talk now.
But now I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The haircuts were so funny though, because I did really mess up a haircut for him in Berlin and had not cut his hair since that. It was like right before my brother's wedding, and I cut it so short and it was really embarrassing, and the hairdresser that we took him to salvage it was not very nice about it. But Lou is a brave soul and he really wanted free haircuts, so I'm getting back into it, and I've done another one since Elafonisos and I'm getting more confident. It's kind of nice. Lou's hair grows so fast that I'm just gonna try to cut it once a month and slowly build up my confidence, and who knows, maybe I'll have another calling as a hairdresser, but probably not. I think my true other calling, and for Lou and I both, is actually to live on a boat. And that's actually why I cut this sailboat out from, I forget, that's like a book I got in Barcelona. But when we were on the island, we spent so much time looking out at the ocean from the parking lot and things like that, from the beach. And there were a bunch of sailboats out in the water, just anchored, enjoying, you know, boat life. And this is something that Lou and I have had like on our life list even back when we were living in New York. So 5+ years ago, we've always talked about how at some point we'd love to sail around the world. But seeing it in Elafonisos in reality, and how different the perspective is from living in a van in the parking lot to living in a boat and having like the ocean be your home instead of land, it really sunk in that it's something that we need to make happen for ourselves. And I don't know, it made it seem like real, like it was possible. It's not just like a figment of our imagination. People do this. People live on boats, and we could be those kind of people. Oh yeah, before I get lost talking about how much I want to live in a boat, I thought I would read the little written portion that I wrote in the journal. I might have lost my ferry ticket and the receipt from the loveliest campsite, but even without the mementos, this island is clearer than any other memory from our adventures in the van. The white-hot sand still lingers on my toes. When I close my eyes, I'm still splashing in the water, bathing in the moonlight. But most of all, it is the sailboat 100 yards off the shore, swaying in the wind, calling us to make the ocean our home one day. Elafonisos may be a lesser-known Greek island. It may be hard to get to, resting at the bottom of the Peloponnese Peninsula. But I know we'll be back one day. Maybe we'll even return by water instead of by road. And yeah, I really love like the little written memories that we've been putting in each of the travel journals, because it's such a nice way to actually reflect on my emotions from whatever the location is. And I think that when I look through this, 20 years from now, I can just get teleported right into this space and the headspace I was in and the adventures that we had. And I like to draw. Na orisi na sografiso exo. I like to draw outside. So this is how the travel journal turned out, and I'm really happy with all the little details, from the umbrellas to the little piece of sand that I included there on the left, kind of framing in the written words, and it just feels like it really encapsulates our entire time there, and it was a joy to make. And I feel like that's the whole point, is just to carve out a little bit of time to reflect on our travels as we go, because we are seeing a lot of places, and it's really nice to slow down for a second and get creative. So thanks for watching. And before you go, I just wanted to say a big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video again. Their platform is incredible. It's so simple to use, much easier to do than me trying to lift this rock and run with it underwater. It's called like an all-in-one platform, so you can use one of their beautiful templates and make a website without knowing anything about coding. And if you are interested, go to squarespace.com/wildweroam and use our offer code at checkout, and you'll get 10% off your first purchase. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy this travel journal series. It's been really fun to make, and I'll see you next time.